This is our Monday and Tuesday Maths homework, Term 3, 2015. We're going to have a look at percentage. Now, percent is parts of 100. We can break that down. Per means for every, and cent means 100. So, in other words, we're looking at how many pieces out of that 100. Let me give you an example. If I'm looking for 50% of 1,000, I'm going to take the whole value. Now, the whole value in this case is the 1,000. We're going to divide it by 100. The reason we're doing that is because we're trying to find out what 1 out of 100 pieces, what that value is going to be. Once I know what 1 piece out of 100 is, then I can times it by the 50, because we're trying to find 50%, which is 50 out of 100 equal pieces. So in other words, 10 multiplied by 50 equals 500. So therefore, 50% of 1,000 equals 500. Let's have a look at how that's going to look on the Monday Maths homework. The Monday Maths homework, our purpose is we want students to understand the process behind finding a percentage of a whole value. So what they want to do is they want to circle whether they think the statement is true or whether it is false. And then underneath they need to show their working to show their understanding. An example of this might be true or false, 15% of 230 equals 213 divided by 15. That is obviously a false statement. That's not how we go about finding it. So what we're doing is we're really trying to weed out the misconceptions here. Then down the bottom they should write 15% of 230 equals 230, which is the whole, divided by 100, which is the 100 pieces, so that's the percent. And then we're going to find what 15 of those hundredths are. And we're going to get our answer, which will then be correct. So that shows our thinking. That's what's really important. I just want to make a short note on some shortcuts. So what this is about is understanding the process. I know there are more efficient ways to find percent than this, but those ways don't display the understanding and don't have the students working hard to, in their minds, to really understand what's going on. So once we have confirmed that they understand the process and they know exactly what a percentage and why they're going about finding it, we can show them more efficient ways to do this. Something like multiplying by a decimal. For example, 15% of 230, instead of dividing the 230 by 100 then multiplying by 15, we can just multiply it by 15 hundredths, or 0.15. So 230 multiplied by 0.15 will give you the same result. You can also use a percentage calculator on buttons. However, if students go to use both of these without a solid knowledge of what percentage is, if something goes wrong, they're not going to know what it is. They're not going to know how to go back and fix it, and they're not going to know what a reasonable answer is. And that's a problem we have a lot with shortcuts. Our Tuesday homework looks like this. We're combining what we know of percentage, and we're also using the multi-step operation that we're practicing. So we want them to use a C-plan, do, check, which I'm going to explain a little bit more in a moment. We want them to work through the process of the percentage once they figure out what percentage that they're trying to work through, and then we want them to show their working and write their answers underneath. If they don't show their working, we're not sure what it is they've done wrong and how to go about helping them fix that. Just some notes on the C-plan, do, check. This is a strategy that we use. They need to rule it up in a box like this. The first column on the top left-hand side here is C. They need to go through. Maybe they need to highlight the answers. They need to decide what their answer is going to look like. Maybe make some sort of estimation about what would be a reasonable answer. In the planning section, they need to make a plan. They can do diagrams, draw a table, brainstorm, make a picture, focus on each part, number lines, anything like that will work to make a plan about how am I going to figure this out. In the do section down here in the bottom right hand corner, we want them to complete the problem. And if it's not working, they need to change their strategy and adjust their strategy for a new one. Finally, once they think they've got the right answer, they need to work backwards and make sure it's reasonable, and that's a really big one here. Could it really be the answer to that question? If I'm asking you what 50% of 1,000 is and you come up with 5,000, that's not a reasonable answer. So then you need to go back through your strategies and check. And please, check, check, check. My answer needs to be reasonable.